Chapter 1. Sonal was a sweet 7-year-old girl who lived with her mother and brother in a tea garden in Assam. Her mother worked as a tea picker in the garden. Sonal's brother, at 10 years, was the man of the family, for their father had died when they were tiny. Sonu and Sonal went to the tea garden school. Sonal finished school early and always scampered home to help her mother. Sometimes her mother would be at work. Sonal would skip along to watch her mother and her friends plucking tea leaves. At times, her mother would let her pluck them as well. This made Sonal feel important. She would wonder where her leaves would go, perhaps to the breakfast cup of a lady in the city, or perhaps even to the house of a little girl like herself in a faraway place. Sonal's house was situated a little away from the houses of the other workers. It was near a lovely little laughing brook that danced and sang merrily. Occasionally, the children went fishing in it, and then they would have fish for dinner. Sonu had planted some sugarcane near their house. When the sugarcane ripe, he told Sonal, "We will sell it at the Friday bazaar. With the money we earn, we can buy sweets for the Bihu festival." So every morning before leaving for school, both children carefully tended the patch of sugarcane. They dug up the land, uprooted the weeds, and watered the plants. Soon the sugarcane grew strong and sturdy. "That is a lovely patch of sugarcane," said their Uncle Raju when he came to visit them. "Be careful of Ganesh, though. He has a real liking for sugarcane." All the tea garden workers were terrified of Ganesh. The garden was surrounded on all sides by thick forests, where many wild animals lived. There were tigers, deer, and rhinoceros, and there were herds of elephants. The workers called them Ganesh, after the elephant-headed god. These herds would fearlessly walk through the garden for food and destroy their valuable plants. The workers had to take torches of fire and chase them away, for all wild animals are afraid of fire. The children were very brave. "Don't worry," they told Uncle Deepu. "We have made a torch with rags soaked in kerosene. If Ganesh comes, we will chase him away." So Sonal and Sonu tended their pack carefully and kept a lookout for the elephants. "I think next Friday I will take our sugarcane to the bazaar," said Sonu one day. Next day, when Sonal returned from school, there was nobody at home. She went outside to look at the sugarcane. She thought it would soon be ready for the market. She wandered down to the stream. It was a beautiful sunny day. The birds were singing among the trees. Everything was peaceful. Suddenly, Sonal heard a sound that startled her. It was a soft sound which sounded like woof. Sonal knew very well that it was Ganesh. She looked around wildly, and there, just across the stream, he stood. He was huge, and his two large tusks gleamed in the sun. His trunk was swinging gently to and fro, and he was staring at the clump of sugarcane. The torch! Sonal remembered the torch that they had made for such an occasion. She found it in a corner, ready to be lit. But where? Oh, where were the matches? Mother always kept them in the kitchen near the stove. But they were not there now. Sonal saw from the window that Ganesh was getting nearer. She went outside and started at him. She was not afraid, only terribly worried. All their hard work would soon be worth nothing. Then Sonal had an idea. Perhaps, she thought, I can make him listen to me if I sing. Uncle Raju says that Ganesh understands everything. So, clapping her hands to keep time, Sonal sang to the tune of a Bihu song, which she knew. "Oh, Grandfather Ganesh, you are king of the forest. We all bow to you. Oh, Grandfather Ganesh, The forest is large and wide. Oh, Grandfather Ganesh, go back where you came from. Oh, Grandfather Ganesh, for our hut is tiny and small, and the sugarcane that you see is to feed our family. Oh, Grandfather Ganesh. Ganesh twitched his ears. He halted in the middle of the stream. He raised his trunk and sniffed the air. Then, as Sonal continued to sing, he turned and went back slowly. Once or twice he looked around longingly at the sugarcane. But Sonal sang on without a pause, clapping her hands to keep time. And finally, with one last look, Ganesh disappeared into the forest. Sonal, she heard a cry, and her mother came running to hug her. She had seen the elephant disappearing into the forest. My brave little girl, now I have a son and a daughter to support me. You are both equally good. I am lucky. When Sonu came home, he too was very happy and proud of Sonal. The whole village came to know of this incident. Next day, both Sonu and Sonal cut the sugarcane. Sonal took a large piece and left it at the edge of the forest. For Ganesh, she explained. And that evening, as Sonu and Sonal were helping their mother in the kitchen, they heard a deep bellow from the forest. It is Ganesh, said the children. He is saying thank you for the sugarcane.